Under the leadership of State Conservationist Kurt Reedus and his staff, Mississippi NRCS took advantage of opportunities to provide conservation assistance and have a positive impact on the people and the land. Mississippi NRCS had an incredible 2019 as we continued our motto of helping people help the land. The work done by our agency, along with Mississippi conservation partners and agriculture producers, made an impact in the state that will be felt for years to come. Here is Mississippi's 2019 year at a glance. The management and strategy staff, under the leadership of Michael Carr, worked hard to maximize their efforts this year to provide quality service to the people. During the year, they accomplished these goals and made a change in Mississippi. Provided 4 watershed agreements totaling over $34 million for dam assessments, repairs, designs, operations, and construction. Completed 64 Gulf Coast Conservation Reserve Program agreements, received and processed 300 requests for payments, and applied 365,407 acres of conservation to improve environmental quality. Jason Keenan and our easement staff had amazing success with the first agricultural conservation easement program, Agricultural Land Easement Closing in Chickasaw County. The staff looks to add more enrollment soon. The popular easement of Mississippi is the Agricultural Conservation Easement Wetland Reserve Easement. This program had more than 310 applications, and even with limited funding, Keenan and his staff were still able to enroll 18 new easements in 2019. In addition, 2 30-year easements were accepted for conversion to permanent easements. This resulted in over $17 million in funds that put Mississippi 3rd in the nation for WRE acres and 4th for the number of WRE easements enrolled. The big success for the staff was utilizing current and older WREP funds in the mature this year and enrolling 920 plus acres with $3.6 million. 5 conservation programs fall under the leadership of Clarence Finley and his team as they work to address natural resource concerns. The Environmental Quality Incentives Program received $48 million in 2019, which resulted in 2,526 contracts being obligated on 212,134 acres of land. As EQIP looks to improve water quality, 4 readiness watershed requests were completed with the potential of increasing funds for the National Water Quality Initiative in 2020. The Regional Conservation Partnership Program had 2 major tasks for the year: completing the Schooner Rivershed Water Project and starting the Pollinator Habitat Project. With it well underway, the Pollinator Project seeks to address multiple issues concerning cover crops and pollination, and improve the health of them as well. Through the Conservation Stewardship Program, Mississippi had 582 regular and renewed CSP contracts. This resulted in 298,084 acres and more than $50 million, which was the highest CSP dollar amount in the nation. The Gulf of Mexico initiative through NRCS and government agencies pushes to help producers put conservation on the ground in the Gulf region through technical and financial support. In 2019, Mississippi enrolled 22,906 acres totaling over $3 million in the 6 targeted coastal counties. Lastly, the Emergency Watershed Protection Program serves as a resource to people who have had damage done to their property by natural disasters. As a recovery program, 127 DSRs were approved by the National Office, resulting in over $15 million. The Ecological Sciences team, led by Roderick Thompson, was determined to emphasize the planning skills in the area of nutrient management. This was accomplished through a statewide comprehensive nutrient management plan. More teaching took place as planners also had the opportunity to take soil health training classes led by Dennis Chessman. The Jamie L. Whitten Plant Materials Center also continued its cover crop and soil health leadership efforts through different studies and demonstration sites in 2019. Under the leadership of Delaney Johnson, the Mississippi soil staff completed the grazing land on-site data collection, which consisted of 20 segments. Each segment consisted of 3 points, equaling a total of 60 points. This will be used to track changes in the land by recording the shifts in vegetation and impacts the health of the land. Led by Lindsay Singleton, the Conservation Desktop will become the tool used in our field offices to process analysts for conservation assessment practices. This will replace the customer service toolkit used previously. With Julie Pitts, a Geographical Information Systems Specialist, we have now completed the light detection and ranging data coverage for the state. This data set will allow conservation specialists and others a tool that can be interpreted remotely or on site. Having Scott Gong, Scott Coleman, and Paul Rodrigue acting as our state engineers provided different ideas as well as success in 2019. Working through the Watershed Rehabilitation, Mississippi received funding for 31 dam assessments totaling $620,000. The Greasy Creek Dam and the Big Sand Creek Dam are entering the design and construction phases equaling $4.7 million in funding. The Richland Creek Dam, which was anticipated to complete rehabilitation construction, will cost $900,000 to complete. As a result of the assessment, $16.8 million of repair work has been identified to restore the South Delta watershed. Another $1.5 million was acquired to bring an up-to-date master drainage plan for the Richland Creek watershed. In total, the engineering program had 5,460 engineering practices that impacted over 3.3 million acres while providing over $31 million in funds. Mississippi NRCS is proud of its work in 2019 and is eagerly ready to do even more in 2020.